it's me. I am back with another video, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. Just a little chit chat video, honestly. But anyway, I guess I just wanted to take the time to make a video and talk about some things, like basically my birthday is coming up. I don't know if I'm going to upload this video on my birthday or if I'm going to put out another video, but basically my birthday is May 22nd. May 22nd, 1996. So I am a Gemini. I take pride in being a Gemini. but apparently a lot of people don't like Geminis. That's really funny. I used to be not very into astrology and stuff like that, but basically lately I've been really into astrology and looking at my sign, Gemini, and stuff like that, and I feel like it fits me quite a bit when I really am self-aware with who I am as a person. Just like, you know what? Maybe that stuff is real, because it really does fit me. Basically, I'm turning 23 years old, and I'm starting to feel old. No, I know that, I do know that 23 is not that old, and, you know, if anything, I'm blessed to be able to see 23 years, you know, in this world, in this life, even though sometimes I really do not like, I'll just say society, because I love life. I just sometimes hate how society is ran and the way that, I'm not going to get into a deep conversation about that, but it's just a rambling video. I'm just going to be talking about random things that come to my mind or whatever. So, but yeah, so I used to couldn't even imagine myself being 23 years old. Like at age 13, I'd be like, wow, that's, you know what, that's 10 years ago. Age 13, wow. Oh my goodness, I first started my first YouTube channel when I was 13. Now that I think about it, and it's been 10 years. So YouTube's been around for like over 10 years. Wow. Even YouTube itself is just like, there's gonna start being a whole generation who is like raised on the internet and YouTube. Even like my generation, like all I can remember in my whole life is the internet. I think, yeah, the internet, you know, was invented in the 90s. I don't know exactly when in the 90s, but since I'm a 90s kid, you know what? I'm one of those people who literally grew up on the internet. I don't know a life outside of the internet. But then there's going to be kids who don't know anything outside of social media. Like they've never known a life before social media and YouTube and stuff like that. That's kind of crazy to me. When the internet was invented. Isn't that crazy that the internet was, 1983, but it took on a more recognizable form in 1990. That's crazy. But isn't that super cool to think about? Like the internet was just invented like 20 something years ago. Like such a life-changing, innovative invention, like the internet, something so vast, something that is a part of everybody's life. Not everybody, but like most people, a way to communicate. Like the internet was invented like 20 something years ago. Like I think the best thing that we've invented since then, maybe iPhones. I don't even know what's the best invention since the internet. Maybe, I don't know. We have electric cars and, iPhones and stuff like that. I don't know. I just feel like there's somebody walking amongst us human beings, who I feel like is going to invent something legendary that will change everything, kind of like the internet did, and it kind of blows my mind, like how it was kind of a recent thing. I know I've never known a life outside the internet, so I don't realize how crazy it is, but I can only imagine like how my mom and my grandmother feels, possibly, like how much it has changed the world, even though they're used to it and they have adapted to it and stuff. Even my grandma knows like how to use an iPhone. That's it. So, at first she didn't know at all, and then she kind of knew, and now she knows everything. She knows how to work YouTube, everything, like mainly because of my son. Like, because that's another thing that's crazy, is that my son, who's 2 years old, he knows how to work the internet better than my grandma. Like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, he has an iPad, but he even like, he'll type on my computer. Like, he's really into technology, and I find that really interesting, because he is 2 years old. Like, who knows? I can only imagine what his life will be like growing up with just so much technology. However, I try to limit the technology. I don't just throw an iPad in his face like 24/7 or anything. I definitely take him out a lot. We go to the park, or we just chill, or we have family time. We play with each other, things like that. Like, I don't just stick him in front of a TV all the time or anything. And even when I do, I feel like it's important to be aware of what your kids are watching. I know a lot of y'all probably do not have kids, but like, I feel like it's very important to be aware of what your children are watching, especially with YouTube. Like, at least like back in my day, like watching cartoons on TV on a television network, you knew that, which nowadays I kind of don't trust television networks that deep, but we're not going to get into that conversation. But at least you knew, like, for example, like when I used to stay with my grandma, when I was younger, all I really was allowed to watch was like PBS Kids. Like, but PBS Kids had some good shows, and when I was over my mom's house, I was able to watch Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network, all those fun shows. I think that was mainly because my mom had cable and my grandma didn't. But like, at least you knew when you were watching PBS Kids, like, nothing bad is gonna come up on that network ever, like they could watch that all day and it's gonna be good shows. But with YouTube it's quite different. You could be watching a kids show, and then like I feel like if you put it on for hours and hours and hours, it could get to a weird side of YouTube or something, and like if you're not paying attention to your kids, what they're watching, like, which I don't think I've ever really experienced that deep. Like, there is some weird stuff out there. I don't know if any of y'all seen any of those TED Talks about like weird kid stuff that people like will try and put out to bait children, or it's like people just doing weird stuff. I'm not gonna get into that deep, but like, and they'll make it look like it's a children's thing, or like people trying to make cartoons and it's really kind of like adult cartoons, and like they try to make it seem like it's children's cartoons. Like, I feel like it's really easy to get to the weird side of YouTube and stuff, but they do have a YouTube Kids app, and they do have just other apps on an iPad that you can. I'm just rambling too much. Okay, real quick, I wanted to talk about Tyler the Creator's new album, Igor. Like, I love Tyler the Creator. I've been a fan of his for quite some time, ever since his first album, Bastard. I've been even like, I even love unreleased tracks. I even love discovering things that he came out with, like, you know, even before, you know, he was famous and stuff like that. But basically, yeah, so I really love this new album. Definitely one of my top 3 favorite Tyler albums, I'll say. Tyler the Creator is definitely my top 3 in my top 3 list of my favorite musicians of the modern day, like of our time right now. I wouldn't say my favorite musician of all time, but of our time, you know, of my generation or whatever. He's definitely my top 3, and I just really resonate with his music and with his story, and just, I don't know, him as a person, a lot. He has no idea that I even exist, but I went to a Tyler the Creator concert like 2 years ago, I think. Wow, was that 2 years ago? And it was a great time. It really was. It was super fun. I definitely want to go to another concert, like want to see him. I don't know if I'm gonna see you again. I want to see you again. Definitely want to see him again in concert. But anyway, his new album, I've been listening to it nonstop. It's literally one of the only things I've been listening to these past couple of days. I really love this new era, this new vibe, this new side of Tyler. I feel like he's bringing kind of some old things back, but this is also a new, you know, I don't know if any of y'all are Tyler the Creator fans, but if you know, you know, like, he moves in eras, almost. Like, he was dark for a while and vulgar and just really a lot, and that's what captured me to begin with. And then like he really transitioned into this very light and positive and happy and carefree Tyler, which I also loved as well, because my life was going really great at that time, around the Flower Boy era, Cherry Bomb era. And then now we have Igor. I feel like it's kind of going back into a little bit dark, you know, but also kind of some happy songs on there. But just in general, like, I'm really excited to see more I'm really excited to see more from this album, like the music videos, interviews of him talking about the album and stuff. This is the only person that I really just get excited about everything when they release an album. I'm like, I want to know, like, what went into this album, like what you were thinking about, like just a lot of things. I don't know if he's going to release a little documentary for this album or anything, because he usually does that. I'm just like, I think a lot of people, I think that he's personally underrated when it comes to just like, some people say that he's a musical genius, and I definitely would agree. And I think that he's underrated with that, like, with people finding him a musical genius. I think a lot of people may have this biased opinion of who he is as a person, but they don't want to try to give him a chance and actually listen to his music or find out who he is as a person. Or they may only know his past music and just like, I don't like him, like, but he's really evolved a lot. And I still even love his old music. Like, that's why, you know, he's one of my favorite. I don't mean to suck his dick right now, but like, I'm just saying, like, he's doing the damn thing, and he's cool. That's all I'm really gonna say. Okay, so I think the next thing I was gonna talk about is, well, last thing, because this video is very long. Last thing I was gonna talk about is John Wick. John Wick 3 is coming out, and I want to see that for my birthday. If I don't do anything else for my birthday, I want to go see that, because I love Keanu Reeves, And I think Halle Berry is going to be in this movie too, so okay. And yeah. And yeah, I just love a good action movie, a good badass movie, you know. I just love Keanu Reeves in general. It's one of those movies I'm going to see because of the actor. But I also love the John Wick series. I think that Renee has gotten me into that because I probably would have never watched John Wick if it wasn't for Renee. But he showed me the movie and I was like, whoa. Like, I think especially the first one? When was the one where they shot his dog and then like everything went buck wild, basically. I don't know. But yeah. To conclude this video, just yeah, I'm turning 23 and you know, I'm happy about it. I'll just say that. I am. Even with the growth of this channel, for my new subscribers, even though this channel's growing very slowly, I don't mind it because social media is not that important to me in a way. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like, I'm focused on a lot more things than ASMR. But I do appreciate you guys so much. Even the new people who have come across my channel or the people who have been here since day one. Like, I appreciate every single one of you. And more amazing things to come. That's just all I'm gonna say. So I will see you guys in my